Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Heather and today I am so excited to be here with my Jane Austen July TBR. Here in my Janeite t-shirt, proudly displaying all of the books that quite honestly I have been waiting almost a year to read. Why do I save up all of my Jane Austen stuff until Jane Austen July? I don't know, I could read it anytime, but it does make Jane Austen July that little bit more exciting. As usual, I will link to all of the hosts and the prompts down in the description box, as well as most of the books that I mention here. I may add a couple to this TBR later on. I may delete a couple later on. I don't know. I have so many to choose from. I am sitting in front of the rest of the stack that I'm not even showing you. Maybe I'll do another video showing the rest of my stack later on, and you can help me pick from those. But for right now, here are some of the things that I might end up reading this month. The first challenge is, of course, to read one of Austen's 6 main novels, and this year, I believe the group read is Mansfield Park. Now, I've read all of these many, many times, but I am especially excited to read Mansfield Park again, just because it is one of those quieter novels that so many people have very polarizing opinions about, and also have very deep rooted opinions about what Austen is trying to do with it. So I'm intrigued to read it again and see if I pick up on any of those opinions or something new entirely. If you are unfamiliar, this is kind of a Cinderella story in that Fanny Price comes from a very large family who is also very poor. So at a young age, she is sent away to live with one of her much richer aunts at Mansfield Park, and she is very much treated as lesser than, as almost a servant. She is really beaten into submission, and she grows quite close to her cousin Edmund as well. But then, as they are all much older, a new family moves in down the way, which includes the Crawford siblings, Mary and Henry, and they shake up this entire family and really bring to the surface a lot of everyone's less desirable qualities. And it's a question of what everyone then does with that. It's not everyone's favorite, but I do love it nonetheless. Another challenge is to read one of her shorter works or unfinished or some of her letters. And I really haven't decided which of those I want to look into this year. So let me know down below. I have read a lot of her juvenilia in years past. I've read her History of England. I have read a lot of her letters in the past. I've read her 3 unfinished novels. Let me know which ones are you looking into, and that might help me decide. Another of the prompts is to read a work of a contemporary of Jane Austen's, or one that was published within her lifetime. So this year, because I will be doing a little bit of traveling around the beginning of July, that gives me an excellent excuse to finally start Camilla by Frances Burney. I read Evelina many years ago in university and really enjoyed it, but I've always been intimidated by the sheer size of her other 2 major novels. So I have had this on Kindle for ages because it is free on Kindle, being as old as it is, but I've never had the courage to start it. Then I found this physical edition a year or 2 ago in a used bookstore. So I grabbed it and I thought, okay, having a physical edition and being able to move the bookmark and see my progress might actually help. So I will use the Kindle edition while I am traveling and use the physical edition while I am home. And maybe with the 2 methods, I might actually get through it. I know nothing about the plot. I know this probably involves some sort of comedy of manners or societal tale, as Austen also tends to write. Yep, that is exactly what it is. And beyond that, we will see what I think of all of these characters. Then we come to the 2 prompts that I always have the most books to talk about: the nonfiction about Austen and her time period, and the fiction dealing with either her novels or, again, the Regency time period. Let's get into those. Let's start with the nonfiction, because I have a nonfiction book here on top. Last year, I said I was going to read She Played and Sang by Gillian Dooley and maybe do some research, play through, or learn to sing some of the songs that were mentioned here, and I never actually did. So maybe I will get around to doing that this year. Another book that I picked up last summer and did not get around to is Love and Marriage in the Age of Jane Austen by Rory Muir. Again, it investigates exactly what it says, all aspects of courtship, marriage, divorce, widowhood, those sorts of things in the Regency period. And I hear wonderful things about Rory Muir as a historian, so I'm really excited to get to this maybe. Another purchase inspired by that same trip to the Morgan Library exhibition last year was A New Jane Austen by Juliet Wells. And this, I believe, is about the American connection to Austen's novels. I love hearing from Juliet Wells, and she had a major hand in creating that Morgan Library exhibition. So I'm intrigued to see what she has to say here. Another New York City find that I haven't really heard talked about very much is A Guide to Regency Dress by Hilary Davidson. I've read other of Hilary Davidson's books before and really enjoyed them. She is an Australian historian, specifically a fashion historian, and she's done a load of Austen-themed projects, so this is another one, and I believe it's exactly what it says. It just looks at all different parts of the Regency wardrobe for both men and women. Then I have two tiny books that I might work into the repertoire. I have Jane Austen's Kitchen by Autumn Rosewood. This, I believe, came in a Regency Marketplace box a few months ago, and I just haven't gotten around to reading it. This has a load of Regency era recipes or things inspired by foods mentioned in Austen's novels. I could do another Regency cooking video, adapting these as I can for all of my various food allergies. If you would be interested in seeing that, let me know down below. I have also had for a number of years and never actually read Regency Slang Revealed by Louise Allen. And it's exactly what it says. It investigates Regency slang and lower class type phrases, specifically, according to the cover, drawing on Gross's Dictionary of the Vulgar Tongue, which I'm assuming was a period urban dictionary, basically. So, yeah, I would be intrigued to see what some of these terms are. Then, in terms of fiction inspired by Austen or her novels or the period, I am first going to start with, and allow me to consult my computer on this, The Fatal Unpleasantness at Netherfield by Claudia Gray. This is the next book in her Miss Tilney and Mr. Darcy series. Given that it's many books into the series, I'm not going to attempt to tell you what it's about, but clearly they are visiting young Mr. Darcy's Aunt Jane at Netherfield, and things will unfold from there. Invariably, someone will be murdered, and he and Miss Tilney will have to solve it. And I can't wait to see where they take this plot. That will be out in mid-June, but as of when I am filming it, it has not arrived yet, but I have pre-ordered it for myself as a happy school is over treat. However, I also have other physical books here with me that I need to read, such as The Elopement by Jill Hornby. This is another of her Austen family-inspired novels. She wrote Miss Austen and a number of others, and I have enjoyed them all. I don't remember who specifically this novel is about. So this is about Austen's niece Fanny's stepdaughter, one of her stepdaughters, and her at least planned elopement, and perhaps she even goes through with it. I'm really going in fairly blind, but this sounds absolutely delightful. I love these UK covers with the embroidery. I'm really looking forward to this. Then I have two recent discoveries that I'm very much looking forward to. I definitely want to read at least Murder in Highbury by Vanessa Kelly, and this is an Emma-inspired mystery where I believe Mrs. Elton winds up dead, and Mr. Knightley, being the magistrate, is called in to try and solve it. Emma, of course, lends a hand, and things presumably unfold from there. This sounds really, really wonderful. I found this through my library last year and just never got around to reading it. Then got my hands on a physical copy, which is quite fun. I may also end up reading its sequel, Murder at Donwell Abbey, or I might save this for around Christmas time, as it does look quite wintry on the cover. So all that to say, I will read one, if not both, of those books as during the readathon. Okay, I'm just checking my list. I think I have covered all of the reading prompts. Now for the two watching prompts. There are two watching prompts. The first is to watch a direct adaptation of one of her novels. So given that Mansfield Park is our read for the month, I will watch one, if not both, of the direct adaptations. I do own both of them on DVD. I just don't feel like going downstairs and getting the DVDs. So those adaptations are the 1999 film with Francis O'Connor, Alessandro Navarro, Johnny Lee Miller, among others. And I watched this as a teenager and thought it was pretty good. There has been no fantastic direct adaptation of Mansfield Park to my mind. They both hit on certain aspects of the novel. This one, I feel, deals with the darker aspects of the novel, the sexual elements, the issue of slavery that is lurking in the background, and brings them more to the forefront. But I feel like it misses the mark on Fanny herself. It tries, in an effort to make Fanny more likable to audiences, it melds her more with Austen herself, which is just not right. I also own the 2007 adaptation with Billie Piper and Blake Crouch and Haley Atwell, among others. And here again, I feel like it misses a lot of those darker elements, but it is, I don't want to say duller in tone because that makes it sound like it's a bad thing, but it is more toned down, which suits the mood of the book a lot better. We can debate Billie Piper's fitness for the role. I think she's fine. So I will watch one, if not both of those, maybe do a comparative watch and review. Then for a modern Austen adaptation, now these don't have to be related to the group read. You could do anything, and I'm sure I will dive into my favorite adaptations throughout the month as well. But I thought as long as I'm watching the two direct adaptations of Mansfield Park, maybe this is my chance to finally watch Metropolitan, because it's been lurking on the periphery of my knowledge for ages. I know it's directed by Whit Stillman, who then went on to, I believe, write and direct Love and Friendship many years later, which I really enjoyed, which is an adaptation of Lady Susan. But it takes Mansfield Park, I believe, and renames everyone and resets it in modern day New York City among the elite, and things unfold from there. So I would be intrigued to see what that ends up being like. So those are all of my exact plans for Jane Austen July this month. Let me know down below if you would like more specific recommendations, or if you have more ideas of things for me to read or watch during the month, content that you would like to see me make. Any and all ideas are welcome, and I am thrilled that you might be participating as well. And until next time, be safe, be well, and happy reading. Bye, everyone.